Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Chorder, also known as Steve. Today, we're doing another reaction video / discussion / conversation / listen to old songs that have been written long ago, back in the day when I was a wee bitty 15-year-old, or maybe 16 at this point, I don't know. Actually, no, this one is definitely, I was 15 when we wrote this one. So this song is called King. That's what we're talking about today. This is on the album Sons of Thunder, the first album released under the Chorder title. And my goodness, this one is an old one. This was like the second or third song ever written for Chorder. And this one's really similar to the first. Okay, the first song was like half of a song. It was like a cover. So the second song is really the first original song. It was called My Call. And we referred to it in Emissary as a little Easter egg. We referred to that in that song. But once I'm done with, I don't know, we'll see when I do it. But we're going to go back and listen to some of the old unreleased stuff that never made it anywhere. It's going to be just awful recording quality because it was, it's bad. It's real bad. But that song was called My Call, and it's very similar to King. It's funny because the vocalist, Michael, and in Emissary, he said, "This is my call," which it was Michael singing that, screaming that. So anyways, King is, this is going to be a doozy, not only for the musical stuff, I think, but for the lyrics probably. We'll see, man. I don't know. I don't know what to expect with this one because I can't really remember it, except I know that it was written a long time ago. So who knows? We'll see what we see. As always, make sure to hit subscribe, please, and thank you very much. Okay, time for King. Let's go. Boom. Two notes. Oh. Okay. I like that better. I don't like that beat right there. Yeah, I don't like that, I don't know, dancey type, it just, oh man. I just don't like how that sounds with that riff at all. That riff, in fact, is pretty boring. It's much better when it changes to go, down the neck and down the scale, all that. So it's a little better in that second version of the riff. It's the same exact rhythm, just different notes, which I think worked nicely. I could be biased because I remember it and it's sort of nostalgic for me. Maybe it doesn't hold up to today. That's very possible. But when I was listening to it just now, I was having a good time at that part. That was pretty fun. And then it went back to the original, that's kind of boring. Nothing special about that. So this was all, by the way, if you didn't know, this is all off the heels of the metalcore situation, the whole metalcore era in metal. So some of these riffs are going to be pretty similar to, metalcore riffs. They're just tuned really, really low in double drop D on a 9-string guitar. So, yeah, that one was rough. But that second part of the riff was really similar to the My Call riff, which again, we'll probably visit that and take a look. Lyrics are fine. They're sort of immature, I guess. They're pretty... The reason I say they're immature is just... I just get the sense that I didn't mean it, and they just remind me of something that it would be in like a contemporary Christian music song, like a youth group type of a song that would be really boring and cringy. So that's what those lyrics right there remind me of. Not that the actual lyrical content is necessarily wrong or anything. It's just I don't know. It's just the particular way it is. If anybody knows contemporary Christian music, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's just sort of, I can't quite put my finger on it, but it's like everyone just sort of repeats the same thing over and over, and nobody thinks about it, and we just sing it, and we're like, that's it. So there's not much thought in these lyrics. That's what I liked so much about Tremors, I think, is that it was like in the theme of Tremors, earthquake, like shaking. It had a theme, and even though the lyrics were about somebody, realizing that they believe in God, realizing the truth, whatever it is, it was in the theme of shaking. So it was just, I don't know, it is like a 2-layered type of a song. But this darn thing is like boring lyrics. Here's what it is. It's too on the nose, sort of, with also just being inauthentic sounding to my ears, and it just reminds me of like youth group worship songs. So I don't know. Take that for what you will, and if you like that, if that speaks to you, well, I'm glad that I've written this for you, and I'm glad I've released it for you. It just doesn't do it for me these days. So again, hopefully the good things that were said back then stick with you, and the bad things don't. But let's keep listening. Okay. A little sloppy on the guitar. I like the riff. It's very metalcore-y. Harmonies, okay. Okay, we got the chorus. Nice. Okay. It's a weird riff to put in a chorus, but keeps it fresh though. Okay, I kind of like that. The chorus part is doing exactly what I was talking about with feeling like Christian contemporary music or contemporary Christian music in like a youth group. That sounded very much like that, just with the chords and the background lead part. That's all very it reminds me of like going to winter retreat or something, or fall retreat with youth group. And I think at this time, this was at the time where the vocalist Michael and I were actually doing exactly that, going to some winter camp or fall retreat or something in our youth group. So this one that really reminds me of that, which is fine. It could be just me and my own emotions and feelings from that time, that my own nostalgia sort of a thing, where it just makes me think of I don't want to say inauthentic faith, because it's pretty authentic, but more like immature. And I just don't know if I was really thinking at that time. But again, I was only 15 or whatever, so what 15-year-old really does a whole lot of thinking, so anyways, bit of an immature sort of a thing there. But then that bouncy part after, the that was kind of fun. I don't think it holds up today at all. I would never make a riff like that now. It's like almost fun, but not fun enough, and it's sort of in that weird uncanny valley area for me, because it's like, I don't know, it wants to be fun, and it sort of is kind of, but it just doesn't have the groove, I think. So it's more like of a metalcore riff. It's almost there. It's almost there, but it's just not quite there. So still fun, definitely changes it up a bit and keeps it interesting. So one thing I will say, I'm surprised at how diverse this song actually is, because I remember it being very simple and boring and basic, but it actually, it's not. I don't know, it's interesting. So here we go. I wonder what you guys think about this song, because I can't say that it reminds me of anything. Like, it doesn't sound like it sounds original to me, I mean, I wrote it and all that, but usually, there's influences from other stuff that makes their way in, but not with those riffs. Those were kind of some weird stuff. And also around this time, during the first Chorder songs, that was when I first got my 9-string guitar and was playing around with the low-tuned sounds. So that could partially be why some of those riffs are just, I don't know, sort of quirky. That's how I would describe it. That's a quirky riff right there. But not in the fun way. It's just straight up quirky. It's not like quirky and groovy. It's not like a groovy riff that's quirky but sort of groovy. Just quirky. All right, here we go. Okay. Alright, that's a classic early gent thing to do. I like it. Okay. Halftime, alright. Sort of a weird riff. Okay, that's better. First part of that was weird. Yeah, so in that riff, I definitely would not write that now. That's like metalcore is what that riff reminds me of. And also, we're far enough in the song where we kind of get the meaning of what the song was written for. It's clearly a worship song, so makes sense why it would sound like a CCM, contemporary Christian music song in youth group worship. I don't like that part of it. It seems cheesy to me a bit, and I don't know. But, again, if you like it, I'm glad. I'm really glad, but I just don't resonate with this at all. But I guess it resonated with me back in the day because it made its way on the album. That riff kind of sucked. It started weird, man. Then the second half of it, when it went halftime, it sort of made a little more sense and it got into a better place on the scale. But yeah, I don't know. Let's keep going. But I think we're getting to the end, so there's probably going to be some heavy or bouncy thing happening here, I would imagine. So let's see. This is sort of the climax part of the song. And let's go. Oh no, I just went back to the riff? The first riff? Ah, man. Well, at least I went to the good part of the riff, the one that goes around. Yeah, I really just don't like this part of the riff. Okay, well, shoot, that was kind of disappointing. Sorry, Conflagration, you're next, but not yet. Okay, so the end was actually, it seemed like it was sort of building for something the whole time, and it just never got there. I was hoping that I did something like in The Vessel, where we at least made the last riff a little interesting. Or like, I don't know if we did it in Emissary, but usually the songs are at least building to something. I try and have some good stuff at the end, so it's good. But man, that was I think that was probably a lazy move to go back to the first riff, because that first riff just wasn't impactful. So I don't like that 2-note riff. So I don't know. To be fair, it was like the second or third Chorder song ever. So let's keep that in mind when we listen to it. But just like thinking without that stuff in mind, just as letting the song do the talking, it's not great with that riff anyways. The middle stuff was pretty good. It was better than I expected. And in that last riff, at least I went to the interesting part. when it came back in, with the bass slide, and then it did the walking down the scale version of that first riff with the same that rhythm, and then it went back to the 2-note version of it, which that's boring. That's just boring to me. So I don't know. Yeah, sorry guys if I'm like just hating on on these songs. If you like them, that's super awesome, and I'm glad that you do. But I think we're all critical of our former selves, and it's like if you look at an old picture of yourself from years and years ago, look at a picture of yourself from 11 years ago, and you'll probably be critical of yourself in one way or another. So it's kind of fun though to do it. Some of it is good. It was a great surprise actually that it wasn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. But yeah, overall, I mean, there's some stuff that obviously shows itself to me as being a little bit goofy and immature. Which, again, I mean, I was a kid. I was 15. So yeah, it sounds like a 15-year-old wrote it to me, but still fun. Some of the stuff's good. So, anyways, hope you liked it. Let me know what you guys think about this song, because tell me if I'm just being too hard on myself or if everything I'm saying is justified, because I don't know, man. And again, like, it's sort of hard to grade everything on today's standard, because I think it'd be more fair to grade it at the time. How was it, And I think at the time it was probably really cool, but times change. It's like watching an old movie that doesn't hold up to today's standards, or like any old art or anything that was relevant at the time or good at the time, and then it just kind of falls out of fashion. So that's sort of how I would classify this song as. It's fine, but doesn't hold up. So anyways, hope you guys have a great rest of your evening, great rest of your morning, great rest of your day, great rest of your afternoon, and I will see you all soon enough. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I need to get to at least 1,000 for functional purposes. It'll be better for everyone involved. Yeah, just have a great day. Love you all. Go in love. Have fun. Freedom, baby. Later.